Hello everyone, welcome back. Um, this is an aluminum panel that I have spray painted black, and then used a gray Scotch-Brite pad to scuff it up a little bit. Always going one way, don't go around in circles on black. Always one way when you sand. And I am laying in some red fire here. And usually on black, I would normally use white, but I thought I would go with red this time just to try it out and see. I've seen others do it, so I thought I'd try it. And as I'm working, I'm noticing that it's very hard to see red on black, and you kind of have to lay a lot of red down to see it. And this is all freehand on the fire. I'm using some stencil here, as you can see, just to give me a point of where this circle goes in a fire, but after that, I am just basically spraying in red here and there. With fire, it is just a process of layering colors. Usually in fire, it is red, yellow, and orange. But when you're working on black, you're going to use white also. And it's just a process of laying those four colors over and over until you get the look that you want. And then you can add a little candy to it also to just make it pop. With this fire, I'm going to call it a watch how I fix a huge fire mishap or boo-boo, because with this fire, I'm noticing that it's not particularly the kind of fire that I want for this piece. It's they call it a true fire or a real fire, but I've never really thought that it looked real or true. But anyway, it's more of a kind of fire you would see on a hood or a motorcycle tank, but it's not really what I'm wanting for this piece. So after I get almost completely done with the look, I realize that no, that's got to go. Don't like it. So I'm like, okay, should I show this? Should I upload it to my channel or not? Because I was thinking, who wants to show someone when they've really made a mistake? Well, I thought, why not? Because we all make those mistakes, and why don't we want to own up to it? It's all part of the process of art, creating and exploring and finding out new things that will or will not work. So I decided to upload it just so you could see that you should be encouraged to never give up on your art, never give up on your work. And even though you've made a mistake and you just want to throw it away, because I used to be like that, just wanted to get rid of it, throw it away, not look at it anymore. But there's ways to fix it. So never give up. Always keep trying. Always keep learning. Always find new ways of doing things. It helps us to grow as artists. Here I believe I'm laying in some illustration orange. Now, illustration orange is kind of transparent, and the red is a wicked red, a detail red. So it's really, you can mix the two in between. And I'm seeing that it's not looking so good, and I'm like, how am I going to fix this fire? Because it's not looking the way I want it. But as you'll see later on, you'll find out how you can fix it. And you'll think, oh, I went to all that work just to have to do that. Yeah, sometimes we do. But after the illustration orange, I will be laying a detail wicked red over it, and that's an opaque color. As you can see, I have two stencil pieces that is laid over this piece that I will be peeling off to work on. And I will be putting the photos for this piece up on the community link on my Airbrush Art and Customs YouTube channel. Now when I peel these stencils off, since this has been spray painted black, you're going to feel a little bit of a ridge. So I'll have to take a little piece of Scotch-Brite and just barely go over that edge to get that edge to lay down. I debated on whether to peel these off before I started painting or not, and then I just decided to leave them on. That way I could show you how I fixed it when I peeled it off. And this is just a low-tack stenciling that I cut out with an X-Acto knife. If you have low-tack stenciling that you can run through your plotter, you could also put your photo into your software program and cut it out that way also, but I wanted it to be the exact size of the reference here, so I cut it out by hand. But you have to always have a new blade and use very little pressure. You just kind of let the blade do the work. You don't push down at all. The low-tack stencil is a little bit thicker, but it's not like a Frisket film. But Frisket film is just so sticky that I don't like to work with it much. And even if you do happen to cut into the aluminum panel, if you sand that a little bit, your paint's going to cover that little bit of a scratch. And once you clear it, you'll never know. Here I'm laying Wicked Detail Red over top of it. And it's starting to look a little bit more like more fire now. These are ghouly, ghosty looking flames, and it's not really what I wanted for the piece. So I actually decide that I will be changing this up and adding some white to it and kind of reworking the flames to where I'm happy with them. Keep knocking my panel and trying to reposition it there to where that glare isn't shining, but I think it's because I have a light that's actually behind it, and on black it tends to glare, where on white you don't pick it up as much. Excuse me. I hope everybody had a nice Thanksgiving. I ate too much turkey. Here I'm coming in with some yellow. Just putting it over some areas. Just to highlight a little bit. And I decide I need to be a little bit more wispy in this fire. So I'm trying to add a few little lines here and there. And I know we've all done work where we just stand back and go, ew, not at all like what I want. And that just goes to show that when you're working on anything, you should always have a reference in front of you. And I didn't on this, so it was my fault. I thought I've done fires so much that I can just wing it. Well, no. I was doing the kind of fire I was used to doing on automotive work, and it's a much different type of flames. So I decided to start using white and covering over, and I went and got a reference of the kind of fire that I really want. So then I kind of just started over, and it taught me a great lesson. Always have your reference in front of you. And this one will have 3. Here I'm starting to add some white in, and I'm just going to cover it up. I was very unhappy with the fire. Now, some of you may have thought, oh, it looks pretty good to me, but it just wasn't what I wanted. So I'm coming in here with an opaque white, and I am covering over some areas, and I'm being kind of wild and crazy with other areas where I want a really bright look to the fire. And it's casting a little bit of a hue on it, but it will change as I add more color to it. And I'm just being real crazy and wild with the white, and as I add other colors, it will pick up and look better. But I wanted this fire to be more wild, like a slight wind was blowing on it, and it was just too uniformed and looking for me. So this is how I'm going to fix this. We're going to go back over it with white. So if you're going to follow me along with this tutorial, don't do the first part of what I just did. Let's just start out with you can start out with the red, but then add white right after the red. Bye. Check back for the next video.